Welcome to Dream by Design with Melissa Banks, where women share their dreams, struggles and successes, how they were able to persevere despite the fear and create the life they want and deserve. If you're looking for inspiration to move you past where you normally would stop, then this is the show for you. Here's your host, Melissa Banks.
Welcome to Dream by Design with Melissa Banks. I'm excited you could be with us today. I'm your host, Melissa Banks. Today, we have an amazing woman to share her journey with us and how she was able to keep going despite the circumstances. Today, our guest is Dafina Skinner Armstrong. Dafina has been a critical care nurse for over 10 years, for over 2, and now she's also a successful entrepreneur running her own business, Dawes Essential Eats and Cakes. Welcome, Dafina. Welcome back to the show, Dafina. How are you today?
I'm great. Thanks for having me again.
I'm excited. I've been watching you. So much has gone on since the last time we talked. I just thought it would be a great time for you to share with our audience all that's been going on. So I'm excited for us to get started. But just to catch everyone up, you started your entrepreneur journey right in the middle of the height of the pandemic, actually, from a place of gratitude, which is just so amazing. And I've always just leaned into your story. But I wanted you to give us an update. What's been going on with Dawes Essential Eats and Cakes, and what's been going on with you?
Yes, pandemic, we've been extremely busy with our business. After I talked to you, we kind of did an assessment after that first year was over, and we looked at the revenue that was gained from our business and decided to move forward with plans on expansion of the business. We created Dawes Essential Eats and Cakes LLC. We made the business an LLC, and then we started putting things in place to grow. So it's been a very, very exciting journey. Business continued to boom since I talked to you. There was so much business that I really couldn't keep up with all of the orders every day. And since then, I decided I had been working so much, I kind of took a step back from the business at one while. I took about a 3-week vacation, and then I missed nursing so much actively that I went back to the bedside for consecutive 54-week journey in the COVID ICU. So I was able to give back on that side. My customers were missing my business so much that they continued to email, text, write, when can we get more? When can we get more cakes? When can we get more of this? So we decided to ramp up the business again, and it's been on and popping since then. So I continue to work at the bedside in the COVID ICU, and now back to my cardiovascular recovery units and the burn ICU at times. And then on the off time, I still bake and prepare different meals. The one thing that I stopped doing was the catering piece of the business. It being a mother, a wife, a nurse practitioner, baker, entrepreneur, business owner, and all of that, it's kind of hard to do just all of that at once. So I did scale my business down a little bit and went towards just the bakery side of it, the sweets. And I'm excited to announce that as we grow, we're going to introduce sugar-free items that everybody can enjoy. I know a lot of people are health conscious at this time, so we're going to do sugar-free treats. We're going to do low-cal, low-fat, and some vegan options. But we're very, very excited. And recently, as of March, I was nominated for one of the Remarkable Women of the Year. I was nominated by one of my customers, Janice Adams. And my husband had input, Corey Armstrong, in helping her do a write-up, and it was selected out of hundreds of applicants for that nomination. So they did a full story on me, which can be found at WJTV.com, WJTV12.com, and you can see the story. It's Remarkable Woman of the Year, Dafina Skinner Armstrong. And in that story, they talked about my journey to nursing as well as giving back to fellow nurses during the pandemic, but most importantly, giving back through Dials of Central East and Cape, and how it was critical that they focus on the essential part of my business and nominating or recognizing nurses across the board, especially our ICU nurses, who oftentimes are not thanked at all when they risk their lives, including myself, every day to save loved ones who have been afflicted by COVID. So, we jump in head first, essentially, with the most infectious patients who are spiking temperatures, fevers, and putting ourselves in harm's risk to help others. And I felt that I could do, if I could, give them a cake or a chicken salad or something to kind of show our gratitude to what they do every day. And so I continue to give to ICUs and hospitals, clinics around the area, just to show our appreciation for what they do. And if it was just 2 minutes that they got to enjoy a sweet treat, that did us some good. So that is essentially what kept my business thriving, is knowing that on the other side, it was somebody that was worthy, that somebody who was doing something for other people and could receive something great from us.
Okay, let's just kind of unpack some of the stuff you just said. It's a lot has happened in the year since we talked, and just congratulations to you on so much. But one of the things that you mentioned that has always drawn me to you, Dafina, especially, been going on with your business, the business opportunities, but what led you to the business was the fact that you could give back. You wanted to inspire, you wanted to encourage, you wanted to make someone feel a little bit better by eating some of your amazing sweets. That's so amazing to me. But one of the things I also noticed about you as I follow you and watch you, and another reason I'm so drawn to you, is you deal with some challenges of your own outside of your business. You've mentioned a little bit of it, but you don't share a lot. But what you do share is that those things come up. Because you have that giving heart, because you work hard, doesn't mean those things doesn't come up. But what I've noticed about you is that when those things come up, you manage to pivot, or you make a change, or you pull back for a moment. Even just then you mentioned that you pulled back for some time because you needed to wrap your mind around. You needed to pause. You needed to rest. Share with us how you face those challenges and not allow them to stop you, but allow them to pause, take that pause, and then move forward again.
Thanks for bringing that up. And it's kind of ironic and funny to me, because it just proves that sometimes I simply have tunnel vision. And it's not that I forget things that happen to me, but it's almost like I have a protective armor and bounce those thoughts away and don't even really reflect on it. I continue to just thrive, or try to thrive, bounce back. Well, in July, I underwent a major oral surgery. And after the surgery, unfortunately, I did acquire some blood clots in flight from Dallas back to Mississippi. And I nearly bled to death on a blood thinner that they prescribed for me. And I was down and literally out. And I had to get blood transfusions and all of that. So my customers, for example, they stepped in. They provided meals and everything while I was down. And it just showed that what you put into this universe, the love that you put into other people, sometimes will come back to you. And I hadn't really even given that a second thought, but I did persevere through that. And I was down for about 3 months after that. And I shared some of that on social media, but not in detail about what happened to me. But that is what happened. I almost bled to death. And so I was able to bounce back, get back to working, revamp my business. And the beautiful thing is that, like I said earlier, when you pour love into the universe, it is put back to you. My customers waited for me. They simply waited. And when we opened back up, the business just came pouring in. But, like, the mindset that you have to have is no matter what stumbling blocks coming your way, you must jump over them. Continue to have tunnel vision and go forward. Thinking back to the negativity will only weigh you down. So that's kind of the motto I have for life, is when stumbling blocks come in your way, figure out a way to get over. Even if you have to climb a ladder, jump over it, roll, and keep walking, that's what you have to do. So that's what I try to do in my life, in my business, and other things. And like trudging through motherhood, being a wife, being a nurse, and all those other things, and creating a business that's thriving, I did acquire some stumbling blocks. I acquired some difficult customers along the way. But all of those things were a reflective point to look at them and think, how can I be better? So I had to get pencil and paper, write down goals, and write down ways that I could achieve those things. And that's what I'm doing now.
Well, you know what, Dafina, that is the whole essence. That's where this whole show came from, is how women, even though we face so many life challenges, how women just face those challenges, push through them, don't take no for an answer, don't quit, but keep moving to set out to achieve. And I believe that you're so correct. When you give out love, the blessings come back to you 100-fold, and that's what happened to you in that. So thank you so much for sharing a little bit more about that situation, because I just watched you, and I know that you come up against some things, but you keep going. So thank you so much. Thank you to our audience for joining us today. And if you're late joining us, we're listening to Dream by Design with Melissa Banks. And our guest today just blessed us so much, Dafina Skinner Armstrong. So, Dafina, I want to also talk a little bit about, you did mention being a nurse, being a wife, being a mom, you know, to two beautiful children that you share so much with us about them that I just appreciate, because I feel like I saw them be born. I've seen them graduate, get older and older. So it's just such an honor that you share that part of your life with us as well. But also know that can be challenging, all the different roles that you hats that you have to wear: nurse, wife, mom, entrepreneur. And if you know me, and anybody who knows me know I don't sugarcoat being an entrepreneur, because I know that it can be really hard. But you stay grounded and you stay encouraged. How do you manage to do that? How do you manage to keep your head on straight, keep encouraging, and keep encouraging others?
Yeah, it's by the grace of God, and I look to him for a lot of my help. My husband, Corey, is a great support. He helps me with the kids when I'm in there baking, when I'm in there cooking. But prayer is primarily how I get through it all. I do daily devotionals, and, you know, I do positive self-talk. I say to myself that I will do it and I can do it. I try not to be negative in terms of anything that comes my way. And sometimes I tend to think that I may have a little bit too much confidence, but then I think about it again, and I say, if I am not confident in myself, who else will be? So I tend to speak positively 98% of the time.
Absolutely. If you believe in yourself, you can be unstoppable. So it all starts with you. And I was excited to hear you say that you do some devotionals, because I do believe 100% that when what you pour into your mind controls what you're able to achieve in your life. So I think that is so amazing, and thank you for sharing that. Okay, so when you were talking about catching us up, one of the things you mentioned was the Remarkable Woman of the Year. So that is so amazing to me, and I wanted to make sure that we congratulate you on that. It's such an honor. And actually, when that happened, I thought we have got to get her back to share this journey with us. So tell us about how it felt when you received the notification that you had been selected, that your hard work and your giving back heart was being acknowledged in this way. How did you feel at that moment?
Oh, it was just wonderful. It was simply a validation that everything that I have been doing was not unnoticed. And a lot of times I personally feel that I am unthanked or not appreciated enough, because there are times, and especially in the nursing field, when you just go above and beyond and it goes unawarded. And it's like you're a dynamic person, you're doing all these things, but you don't even get the validation that you are doing an incredible job. But to finally get some type of recognition said to me, keep going. You know, you are doing it right. It may be delayed, but it's certainly not denied. And so I just continue to push. But it was such such a wonderful and honorable nomination, and I'm just grateful that my story was portrayed in the way it was by Scotland Williams, who did a dynamic job on pretty much giving my bio and then introducing what I do in my profession as a nurse, how I got to nursing. I did have to, unfortunately, triumph over another medical situation, and that's what landed me into nursing after having graduated Duke and going to law school and working in business. I ended up becoming a nurse, and that's one of my life testimonies, that God will sometimes point you in a direction that you never even knew you had in you. And this business is absolutely, unequivocally one of those things in my life as well that God just pointed me to, because I was not looking to be an entrepreneur. I had enough stuff on my plate. I was trying to write a cookbook. I was definitely not trying to bake for anyone. And when the first request came through to do a cake, I simply said, oh, no, I don't sell food. And, they were like, please, will you do it for me? So I did, and gave them a price, and it went viral. And from there, the business was born. So I said, look at God. He just provided another avenue or another way to bless other people. But in return, I have been greatly rewarded. And I just can't thank God enough for that.
Well, we are so thankful that you said yes. I think the biggest part of following a path that you weren't expecting is recognizing when that opportunity shows up. If we just trust and keep going, when that opportunity shows up, then it's up to us to say yes, which is what you did, which opened up the door for the rest of the blessings. So we're just so thankful that you said yes, that your heart is giving heart, and that you can cook. So many people are enjoying that beautiful food that you're producing at Dobbs Essential Eats and Cakes. I watch it all the time, the comments you get, and just congratulations for all that success. So what final words do you have for our audience? And please let them know how they can stay connected to you and to Dobbs Essential Eats and Cakes.
Oh, absolutely. The final words that I have for the audience, especially mothers who wear multiple hats or women who take on other roles and do them simultaneously, is to never give up. If you have a goal, write a vision, make it plain, write it down, speak positive affirmations into your life, and it will be so. It is up to you to make it happen. Sometimes you do have to work harder than the next person to achieve it. Sometimes the money to foster these businesses will not be dumped into your lap, and you're going to have to work for it. But don't give up. If you don't have it this year, you might have it next year. So keep pushing until you see it through to fruition. Don't give up on your goals. Like I said, writing it down is super important. It may seem minuscule, but it's something that you are setting the path for in your life, so do it. And how to stay in contact with me, I can be reached at Dafina, D-A-F as in Frank, I-N-A, at D-A-H-S, DobbsEssentialEats.com. You can visit my website at www.DobbsEssentialEats.com and utilize the chat feature, which will send me a direct email or alert me that you want to get in contact with me.
Thank you again. You have blessed us today, and you have inspired us all with sharing your journey. So thank you again for being here and sharing your journey with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you to our audience. You're welcome. And thank you to our audience for tuning in to today's edition of Dream by Design. I'm your host, Melissa Banks, saying all your dreams are possible. Believe in yourself, work hard, and don't quit. Until next time, thank you for choosing Dream by Design with Melissa Banks. Enjoy your day.